Good afternoon, YouTube. I've just been speaking to myself for the last 10 minutes and not been recording it. We're sat on the ground at Auckland. It's 20 degrees outside. Air New Zealand flight 176 going to Perth today. We've got 298 passengers on board, 58 tons of fuel, and we are literally about to push back from the gate. We've just about to pressurise the hydraulics, and you might as well just come along straight away for the ride.
Full start procedure.
Check.
Shame really, you missed an awful lot of waffling. And I'd also like to say that we're no longer one pilot gabbering his way around the world. We're now one pilot flogging his way around the world at a time. Whilst flogging may make some of you raise an eyebrow and smile, flogging as in flight video logging. Flogging.
I'm ready for the checklist.
I'm not sure if it's a real phrase or a phrase that I've just made up and I'm the first to use it, but that's what we're doing from now on. We're flogging our way around the world. Before start checklist.
Before start checklist.
Before start checklist. Flight deck door closed and lock briefing.
Now we haven't done that. Naughty, naughty, very naughty. Out of all the things that I've done for the last hour, one of the things I didn't do was brief. So we're on stand. Azdex, no, it's D-rated thrust. Takeoff config is 5. Packs on, anti-ice not required. NDAP 2. Thrust reduction, acceleration altitude both 1500 feet. It's a standard instrument departure, and there is some terrain around, although I do believe it's going to be behind us.
Are you ready for the departure briefing?
Yeah, if you're wondering why it says 25,000 feet as our first altitude, the SID that we're on, that's the actual initial altitude, 25,000 feet. I don't think I've ever had one that you go that high up on a departure. So different. So start cut out. Start the left engine.
Start left engine.
Starting left.
Should go outside. I didn't realise I had all these views until about 3 days ago. That's the one I like.
Anti-ice, auto, recall, checked. Flight controls.
Oh, I checked.
Checked.
Ground equipment.
It's going away, it's clear.
For taxi checklist.
Alright, I'll wait for him to go and we can go. Now, do I do the taxi light or does the first officer on this one? I know I keep forgetting it on the 7.3, so it must be that he does it on this one. Clear on the left.
Clear right.
Let's get this show on the road. He does it. Let's get back. That's the reason why I keep forgetting it on the 7.3. That is a really cool view. I don't like the fact they put this Oculus Rift view in. I'm sure it's awesome if you have Oculus Rift, but it keeps confusing me. So I think we'll have 3,200 feet of runway to play with today. So as you can see, there is no traffic at any of these airports. One, I like it for the smoother frame rates, and two, I really get quite annoyed with air traffic control just cutting me up. I think that comes back from like Flight Sim 98 and an FS9, and I've never been that happy with it ever since. I talked about it in one of my previous videos. I'd love to see some traffic, and maybe I should fly online once in a while, but a few bad experiences with that sim as well, so I'd rather hang out with you guys instead. And those come round. Go on, one more. There we go, that'll do us 40%. Well, it's just 55% in a 777, isn't it? 55%. And off we go.
On taxiway, on taxiway.
I think she's a bit confused. Missed their rotate call out. I'll hold it right there. So for some reason we missed our V rotate call out. There was no rotate call out and I missed it. In fact, that's probably because
Take off.
Check.
I never told him to.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Oh dear. So that'll be a lesson to you kids.
Flaps 1.
Speed checks. Flaps 1.
Flaps up.
Speed checks. Flaps up.
Put the autopilot on. Never a dull moment flying with Larry. Right, we're going to turn that off because that's very annoying.
After the takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete.
See what I mean by it? Just the climb rate is just mad. So what we do is just slow the climb rate down, save ourselves some fuel. It's interesting how you go through these procedures, and I've been flying aircraft without any FS2 crew for what, the last 4 or 5 flights, so I've had to do everything myself, and how quickly you get out of the habit, and probably just shows really how, you know, if a real world pilot was to jump aircraft so often, that actually the repetition not being there would actually be quite dangerous. And it just shows how much human factors really does come into how these things work. I mean, I've got, I don't know, maybe 100 hours in the 777 now, with FS2 crew, so it's not like I don't know how I'm using the software and how I'm flying with it, but clearly you just get out of the habit of things. So I know to start the clock, but what I didn't do was tell the first officer we were actually going. So at that point we got the V1 call out from the aircraft, but there was no rotate or positive rate from the first officer. So we've launched ourselves off the ground. And then I'm sat there currently perplexed as to why nothing's going on. Here comes 10,000 feet. Let's speed the aircraft up. We'll stay at 2.5 for a little bit.
10,000 feet.
In fact, we'll level change. Probably what we should have done. Alright, so if you've learned something from this video, like tell you first officer you're taking off, or you want to see some more of some of the work that I'm doing and keep up with my vlogging, then please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Got any questions? Ask me a question. What I plan to do when we get to Perth is actually jump again on the 777, and it's been requested that we go to South Africa and do some flying around South Africa, so I suspect that's what will happen. We'll get to Perth and then we'll pick up a South African Airways flight from Perth to Joburg, and we'll go and run around South Africa in a 737 and the 717. But as this barber pole, as it would have been, is creeping downwards, I'm going to pop this now into VNav. I'm going to let the computer take care of the speed. Initial cruise altitude today, flight plan is 36. Let's see what the computer says about that. Optimum is 37. It actually wants 38 straight off the bat, so we'll go for 38. Expect to be landing tomorrow with nice 16.5 tons of fuel remaining. Let's see if that just matches up with the flight plan. 14.6, so not too bad on the difference in fuel. Obviously by the time the overnight winds had something to say about that, it could be something completely different, but we'll see. So genuinely, if you do have any questions you'd like to ask, topics you want to talk about, doesn't necessarily have to be aviation. I'll talk about most topics. Drop me a line, leave me a comment, send me a tweet at FlyManxVid, and I will respond appropriately. So apart from that, I think it's time to let the first officer take over for this portion of the flight as we're approaching our cruise altitude. Hello and welcome back to Flymanx flight videos. One pilot flogging his way around the world one flight at a time. And I'm going to laugh every time I said that, but I think it's better than gabbering his way around the world one flight at a time. Okay, so in departure I think there were some slightly dodgy sound issues with duplication of sound. I've been messing with my settings for the last few days, and I think I may have left something ticked or unticked that I shouldn't have done. So hopefully for this arrival video we shouldn't have any problems with that. So where are we? Exactly 3 hours ago the sim paused as it hit the top of descent, and I don't always like leaving the sim overnight. It's not my favourite practice in the whole wide world, but sometimes when you're travelling around the world and you got stuff going on, you got to try and fit the I don't like to speed sims up. I like to just let them happen. So I would rather it happen in real time, me come back to it and land it at the appropriate point, and then carry on with some smaller flights that are more manageable than doing it the other way. There used to be a time, probably a good 10 years ago, where I would refuse to move from my seat and never fly long distances. You'd never see me do a flight any more than 3 hours because I couldn't leave the sim. And it had to be a pilot in the seat at all times. But you know what, I've got kids now, and there's life and all that kind of stuff. So In the grand scheme of things, does it really matter? Not really. The sim is going to do what the sim wants to do. It's not going to, you know, apart from the computer actually crashing or deciding it doesn't want to be a computer anymore, you know, and those things are outside of our control that happen if I was sat here or not. So there's no air traffic, there's no air traffic control. So for me, it's fine. So let's get back into sim. Now, there's a few things we've got to do pretty rapidly as we're at the top of descent. We've got to get the aircraft going down, and we've got to grab the weather. We've got to look at the arrival weather for Perth. We've got to plan our arrival. So that's all going to happen very quickly. So I should just go through my flows. I won't talk too much, because that's generally when I start forgetting to do things. So here we go. So essentially to go for an initial altitude to start with, just to get the aircraft to nose down, leaving it in VNAV. So very quickly looking at the weather, you see it before I did. Make sure we've got the latest. Yeah, 900Z, 220 at 17 knots, cav okay, ceiling and visibility okay. Temperature 24, dew point 10, QNH 1015, no SIG. Beautiful, just what we want to see. A nice, clear and wonderful day in Perth. So what we're going to do here is set up 1015, which is enunciated down here, 1015. That's already when we transfer over. Quick check of the charts. Charts. Transition over to the charts so you can see them too. What we're interested in, didn't want to do that for myself. What we're interested in is this bit down here in this corner that says TA 10,000. So the transition altitude today is 10,000 feet. So we'll tell that to the flight management computer as well. As you can see, we've already started the descent. Load those winds in. That's the bit I was looking for. So as you can see, because we've made those changes, we're actually too high already. So it really does help. You're better off planning early, and the change of wind and stuff has meant that the top of descent is a bit more. It's happening quicker than we would like to have expected. But they're the sacrifices you kind of have to make, you know, because you've paused early. So I can live with 250 feet radio. So I'm just changing it down here. It says 250. So then I need to change it over on this thing here. So 1, 2, hold it down for 50. Landing config 30, runway is dry, auto brake level 3. Let's say level 2 for fun. APU, yeah, we'll let that run. Azdex, don't worry about it. We're going to go on to stand. No, we'll go for a gate. I have no concerns today. 27, let's say terrain. Yeah, there is a little bit of a 1,600 feet. No, there are some hills, we'll say terrain. Play the brief.
Ready for the approach brief.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be arriving by the approach briefing later.
So he's now going to go ahead and set up for the approach. Pretty much kind of like what we've done. And obviously if he wasn't pausing, you'd have actually done this like 100 miles out. I'd have set up a hard fix to tell me when I was 150 miles away, so maybe even 200 miles away, just to prepare for the arrival. Nice. Here comes the deceleration. We'll just help it out a little bit with some speed brake. Just see the speed brakes are up there on the areas coming over the wing, and then because it's hitting this and can't go through, it creates drag and helps slow the aircraft down. So we've actually got to reduce quite a lot of speed in the space of like 7 miles. So I'm actually gonna get us to flaps 1 nice and early. Cat just made me jump. As you can see, there's the glide slope. We're pretty much on that. I've not armed the localizer or the approach yet.
Flaps 5.
Speed checked. Flaps 5.
I might be being a bit cheeky here, getting that out a bit early, but now it's having a tough time because I've cheated. I've allowed the aircraft to capture the glide slope before we're initialized on the localizer. In fact, I shall stow the speed brake and go to flaps 15 manually. So the way I like to land the 777 is you hold 185 flaps 15 to 2,000 feet on the RA. Once you hit 2,000 feet, you've then got 1,000 feet, so between 2 and 1, to get yourself into landing configuration. So by the time you hit 1,000 feet, gear down, flaps 30, landing checklist is all happening at the same time. So as you can see, we're now capturing that glide slope. We'll turn the terrain radar off because the terrain's behind us. That's the point where the speed starts to creep. Below 2,000 feet, so gear down, flaps 20.
Flaps 20.
Speed checked. Flaps 20.
I was a bit slow on that. Should have done that much earlier. Runway in sight. It's just here. I have control.
Flaps 30.
Speed checked. Flaps 30.
So what I've done there is I've used the trim wheel, the little blue bit just down here,
2, 1.
to be where I want to be. So I've let the aircraft pitch up, and although we've dropped below the glide slope slightly, it's actually managed to allow us to get control of the
Landing
speed.
checklist.
Speed brakes not armed.
Landing checklist.
That's what I like a first officer. Let's concentrate on landing, shall we?
Landing checklist. Landing checklist complete.
Landing checklist complete.
Plus 100. 300. Minimums.
Landing.
Check.
Why do I always miss that point? Always miss that point.
100.
Sigh.
50. 30. 20. 10.
Long
80
landing.
knots.
Long landing.
Rotate. Speed brakes up. Reverses normal.
Well, they can't always be good ones, I guess. There's nothing, you know.
60 knots.
It was a long landing, but we had so much runway. We were so light anyway that. I'd probably get criticised in the real world for it. Probably get criticised in the virtual world as well, but. Interested to see what my landing rate was. A little bit quick in there. Alright, let's clean her up.
Okay, to clean up.
Now we
Check.
do have GSX Airports HD, and I can't remember if that actually gives us guidance for parking. It's up there on the wall. Whether it's active or not, I'm not entirely sure. That's a shame. That would be quite a good little handy help. That's better. Helps if you get the right view. That should do us nicely. Hold the parking brake. 713 on chocks, that'll do. So check that the APU is running, so it is on. Status, APU is there. Electric, is it available? Yes, the APU is available. Shut down 1, shut down 2. Welcome to Perth. Go run the shutdown checklist as soon as he's done everything he needs to do. Says the wheel chocks in, plugged in on the GPU. It's hot, so we'll leave the APU running for a little while. There's a jet bridge. And it's PA, isn't it? Yes.
Cabin crew, doors may be open.
She's a joy to fly. She is an absolute joy to fly if you can remember your procedures. And actually, it's
checklist.
shutdown checklist.
Shutdown checklist.
So we'll release the parking brake as we're on blocks, as we're chocked in.
Shutdown checklist. Parking brake.
Set.
Shutdown checklist complete.
And then we'll secure for the next
aircraft,
crew.
please.
Okay.
And that's us. So I will end my 214 feet per minute, 138 knots. So a little bit quick according to the ACAR system. But this is where I will leave you. So thank you all very much for watching. My name is Liam, and you've been watching the FlyManx Flight Sim videos. One pilot flogging his way around the world, one flight at a time. Thank you, and goodbye.